Okay, so you can start on your back as you're ready, just bringing yourself into the space and take your time getting there and do any little wiggles that you need along the way. Sort of starting in most of Shavasana-like position, just beginning with the end and ending with it as well. Through bookending on your class today. As you find yourself on your back, just beginning to drop into your body. Oftentimes it takes our minds a little bit longer to arrive in space, to sort of follow our bodies in all of the wildness of different directions our mind takes us, and just taking this moment to invite the mind into the body so that we can be in this space. Begin to scan the body with the mind's eye, perhaps starting with the toes, the soles of the feet, the heels as they touch the earth, the space underneath the ankles, the calf muscles, space underneath the knees, perhaps, hamstrings, the glutes and the back of the pelvis resting, the space underneath the low back, followed by the space of the ribs as you gently breathe, the shoulder blades, the back of the heart space, and the bones of the arms just gently resting on the earth. Nice space underneath the neck, and then the skull. The back of the skull meets the earth once again. And perhaps noticing as you move the mind throughout the body, if there's anywhere that needs a little bit more attention today, whether it's discomfort or any pain or tension. Perhaps we can just allow for that space to be a little bit softer. Breathing a little bit more deeply. Just trusting that the earth is right beneath us. Noticing if we're pulling away from the earth, then we can just simply melt today in this moment. Enjoying this moment of quiet in the body. And beginning to tune into the breath without doing much to change the pattern of the breath, just noticing the gentle rise and fall of the front of the body. As the front of the body rises, the back of the body settles lower into the earth. And as the front of the body softens, the back of the body meets it in the middle. This beautiful coordination of the lungs around the space of the heart. Just noticing. And letting all of the breath out wherever you are. You can begin by inviting a deeper breath in through the nose. And just letting it out with a sigh. Let's do that a couple more times. Filling the body with breath, breathing in through the nose. And letting it go. Let's do that one more time. Big, big breath in. Sipping a little bit more air at the top. And letting go. Time gently sealing the lips. You can inhale, filling the low belly. Mid belly, upper chest expands, crown of the head opens. And exhaling through the nose, softening behind the eyes, chest, mid belly, low belly. Deep inhale, low belly, mid belly, upper chest, all the way to the crown of the head. And exhaling, The space behind the eyes, chest, mid-belly, low belly softens. As you continue this pattern of breath, really experiencing the breath as it passes from the base of the spine all the way to the crown of the head. And upon exhaling, the breath leaves the body, softening from the crown of the head down to the base of the pelvis. Taking a few more rounds of this deep, intentional wave of breath at your own pace. Maybe you begin to invite that slight constriction in the back of the throat, Ujjayi Pranayam. Oceanic sound begins to enter the ears, entering the mind. And as you feel ready, you just gently begin to invite some movement into the toes, into the fingertips, ankles and wrists. Can find some circles. Just finding a little bit of that gentle movement of the body, bringing us out of our deeper state of rest. And slowly bringing one foot and then the other onto the mat, bending the knees. You can place the palms on the belly for a moment. You can step the feet to the outsides of the mat so that they're wider than the hips. And then just finding a gentle rocking side to side. Dropping the knees. Dropping the knees over to the right for a moment and then coming right back. Seeing if we can begin to open up the space of the low spine. You might even notice this in the front of the hips. Super gentle twist, no need to go too far. The hands can slide against the belly. And inviting that breath to continue to move through you. I didn't say this before, but you're welcome to keep your eyes soft or closed for the duration of this practice. I'll do my best to lead us with words. You can use the screen as a guide, but see if you can really remain inside of your own practice, your own body, as you move through this time. And settle back towards center, finding a little bit of stillness for a moment. I notice that the pelvis feels a little heavier with the femurs, the thigh bones pouring down into the bowl of the pelvis. And as you feel ready, just gently extending the left leg out in front of you and letting the leg rest on the ground. You can invite the right knee in towards the chest, maybe clasping the fingers over the shin or underneath the hamstring here and finding a little bit of a rocking side to side. Oftentimes, this inner hip crease can be a little bit sticky, a little bit crunchy. And just listening to that, again, inviting that breath, massaging the inner hip crease and just getting to know the space of the body. You might notice some sensation in the back of the hamstring even. Breathing a little deeper. Settling towards center. You can even allow the knee to come towards the right shoulder a little bit if that feels good. A little bit more of an open stretch. You can keep the palms where they are and just taking a few breaths just to feel this. See if you can draw that knee a little bit more towards the chest or that right shoulder. And then as you find an exhale, imagine that the pelvis got even heavier, can reach the pelvis into the earth. Really begin to ground the back of the body as you reach the right knee towards the right armpit. Let's take one more big breath here. And exhale, drawing the knee towards the body. If the knees are, or if the palms are on the knee, just changing the grip to underneath the hamstring. Go ahead and flex that right foot nice and hard so that the toes really reach towards the shin. And then gently begin to press up through the heel. So really keeping the flex of that right foot. You'll notice when the body asks you to stop, the knee probably won't straighten, and that is okay. We're getting into the sciatic nerve here. So really reaching the heel, allowing the pelvis to remain heavy, pausing when the body asks you to pause. Taking a deep breath in. Deep breath out. take 2 more breaths, really reaching with that heel, inhaling and exhaling. 2 more breaths, inhale. Exhaling. 1 more big breath. And as you exhale, letting the flex of that foot go, and just beginning to find some circles with the ankle. That right knee can be soft. Notice already that release in the back of the right leg. Finding circles in one direction, as fast or as slow as you'd like. You can change directions as you're ready. See if you can really find the edges of your circles. Taking a big breath wherever you are. And letting it go. You can release the palms for a moment, and we'll find a little bit of a shake here. I don't think you've taken a stretch and restore class with me before, but I really love shaking the body is a really beautiful restorative practice. So seeing if you can allow the body to stay nice and heavy and just find a little bit of a shake with this right leg, really releasing the ankle, releasing the knee, releasing the muscles of that leg. Let's just take one big breath in together here. And letting it go. You can let that shaking go and just holding the leg up for a moment. You notice this beautiful tingling happening through that right leg. You could drop the heel towards the glute and then drawing the left palm towards the outside of the right knee. We'll begin to pull the right knee across the body without going into the twist just yet. Just noticing if the pelvis is heavy. You pull this right knee across the body, you get into that right glute. Super slow motion twist here. Taking some nice breaths, maybe pausing anywhere that feels really sticky or tense. And then eventually the right knee will fall over to the left, finding ourselves in our supine twist. As we're in a restorative practice now, you're welcome to let the right shoulder lift off of the ground. A nice passive posture here. Again, no need to glue yourself into any position, just letting yourself lay. Yeah, the right leg will be quite heavy, so you just pull the right shoulder off the ground typically, and just letting this be. And if you can give yourself back down into the earth, taking just about 2 or 3 breaths. Noticing as you exhale, the spine might twist just a little bit more as you release. Take 2 more breaths. One more breath here. Go ahead and extend the left arm towards the left now. And we'll move into this nice posture where we'll be laying across this left arm. So if that right knee continues to pull to the left, you can continue to roll over on top of this left arm like you're laying yourself across it. The right knee will be out towards the side. You'll be in sort of a face down tree pose with your left arm in front of you. You can drape the left or the right arm behind you if you like, and see if you can release here for just a couple of breaths. This is a very restorative posture, not always so deep in stretch, but it's quite beautiful to really give your weight on top of this left shoulder, this left arm. See if you can release the glutes for a moment, allowing the forehead to be on the earth. Nice soft heart. Let's take 2 breaths together here. Inhaling wherever you are, filling the body with breath. Letting it go. Inhale, filling the back of the body, feeling the back of the heart expand towards the sky. And exhaling to soften the bones. As you feel ready, just gently bringing the right palm underneath the right shoulder. You can gently press into this right palm to slide the left arm out from underneath you, and both palms will be under the shoulders. You can extend that right leg behind you and just find a little bit of a rock. You can rest the forehead on top of the palms if you lay them on top of one another. And just shifting the hips side to side for a few moments, letting that all go. We don't spend a lot of time laying face down. It's a really beautiful way to ground and connect back into the earth. Very restorative. Letting that rock and go, just taking one big breath here in stillness. And letting that go. You can draw the palms underneath the shoulders and tuck the toes behind you just so that they have a little bit of traction. And as you press into the palms, we'll find a little bit of a lazy up dog. You can keep the elbows bent if that feels better for you. And we're just going to find a little bit of a rock side to side to open up the front of the body. No need to be too particular here. You can let the shoulders come up to the ears. Notice as you rock side to side, you're sort of accessing the front of the body in different ways. And finding a few shifts side to side. Kind of what we all want to do when we do up dog, but we don't do it because we want to be strong. So just letting the front of the body sort of splay open for a moment. And then from here, you can press into the palms to just gently engage the shoulders and walk yourself back. You'll be just to the side of the mat, and that's okay. Yeah, we'll keep the toes tucked behind you and just making sure really quick that all 10 toes are really nice and tucked. And just keeping the palms on the ground. We'll just hang out in this toe pose for a moment to open up the bottoms of the feet. You're welcome to drop the chin down towards the chest to find a little bit of a rounding in the spine. If you press your palms into the earth, you'll get a nice cat stretch as well. And noticing this might feel quite intense on the soles of the feet. Taking 3 breaths here, knowing that it will end. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling. 2 more inhale. Exhaling. 1 more breath here. And exhale to let it go. Shifting the weight gently into the palms, lifting up the toes, and just sitting back on your heels for a moment. You can leave the palms where they are and just rock the hips side to side. Do a nice massage into the tops of the feet. You can take one of your pillows if it's close by. We'll sit in hero's pose for a moment, and a nice supportive way we can do that is just tucking a pillow or blanket underneath our feet, in between our calves and our hamstrings, and it'll give us a little bit more support. So just finding yourself here, we'll do a little bit of chest and nerve opening in the arms. You can take the right fingertips and point them towards the chest, and then flex the palm away from you. Yeah, so it's like you're holding a platter, but you're holding it facing that way. And then you can begin to reach the heel of the palm towards the front of the room. This might be plenty for you already. Keeping that palm nice and flexed, begin to draw the fingertips out towards the side of the body. Yeah, it's usually around 45 degrees. We start to feel this nice sensation down the inner line of the arm. So pausing when you feel that, no need to push too far. Maybe you come all the way out to the side. It's a little bit much for me today. And then making sure this right shoulder is sinking down, shoulder blade is dropping down the back of the body. And then maybe you begin to turn the head towards the left. We'll just take about 3 breaths here. Seeing if we can soften that right shoulder, really flexing those right fingertips. Maybe we can move a little bit deeper. Maybe we even drop the left ear down towards the left shoulder. That really gets it going. Let's take 1 more breath in together. And letting that go. You can release the fingertips first and just letting the chin fall to the chest, letting both palms rest in the lap for a moment. If the eyes can, if you feel comfortable, the eyes can close, and just noticing the different sensations in the right arm and the left. Yeah, when we get into the nerves, it's quite profound how much opening we can get into. And as you feel ready, just rolling up through that spine and finding a nice tall spine once again. We'll do that on the left side. So left fingertips this time point towards the breastbone, and then flex the fingertips away from you. From here, press through the heel of the palm, so really extending the fingertips out, and then gently beginning to carve out through the space. Noticing Usually our dominant hand tends to have a little bit more of sensation. Yeah, so my left feels a lot more open and able to move. Just something to notice. And drop the shoulder down if it's getting a little high. And just seeing if you can sit with that sensation. You can turn the chin over the right shoulder or drop the right ear down to the shoulder. You can play around a little bit too. Just remembering to breathe, soften the shoulder. Let out any sound. I'm a noisy yogi. I'm the one that's always breathing loud in class. Let's take one more big breath, reaching away. And letting it go. Fingertips release first, chin falls to the chest, and gently finding both palms on the thighs. Nice soft chin to the chest for a moment. And from here, just shifting your weight forward to remove the pillow from underneath your feet. I'll come back in the same orientation as you. And from here, you can just walk your palms out in front of you for a child's pose, just for a moment. See if you can really reach the fingertips away from the body to get some length in the armpit, and then drop the chin towards the floor. See how that feels. As if the fingertips just had to keep reaching forward. The weight begins to pour into the palms. You can curl up through the cat spine if that feels good. And then just dropping the hips down and lowering the body all the way down. You can extend the left arm out towards the side this time. Put the right fingertips on sort of next to the right shoulder. You can bend the right knee and then eventually begin lifting that right knee and reaching it over to the left. So we're finding a twist from the bottom this time. Yeah, I'll do that one more time. So flexing and bending that right knee, lifting the right knee, and bringing the right foot behind the body. You're welcome to keep this right leg bent. If that feels good, sometimes you can touch the earth with that right foot. You are also welcome to extend this right leg long behind you and find the twist that way. Yeah, the nice thing is when the body can really relax in this shape. So it might be quite intense in the left shoulder, the left chest. So just listening to how can I make this for me. Yeah, today, you're a little bit more so get into the hip a little bit that way. Just listening, taking about 3 to 5 breaths here. With each inhale, noticing as the bones expand. And each exhale, they soften, perhaps twisting a little bit deeper. Just about 3 breaths more on your own. Where can I soften and let go? And as you're ready, you can sort of unwind a little bit here, bringing your right shoulder a little bit closer, just so you have enough room to slide this left arm underneath the body and roll back onto your back. You can place both feet on the ground, and we'll move back into that nice rocking side to side we found at the beginning of class. Palms can rest on the belly, and this sort of windshield wiper the knees side to side. You might notice things already feel quite different. Letting out a sigh if that feels good to you. We'll move through something similar on the right side, or left side, I suppose. Get all the sides mixed up. We'll do something a little bit different when we reach our hero's pose. You can extend the right leg long this time. And as you feel ready, just gently bringing that left knee towards the body, finding that movement to start off with, clasping the palms either over the shin or behind the calf muscle around the hamstring. Just finding that slight rocking of the thigh bone in the pelvis. We're really getting into that inner hip crease, checking it out, seeing what sensations are going on in there. And settling somewhere in stillness. You can even draw that left knee towards the left armpit a little bit. Yes, it doesn't have to be so strict in shape. We can let it hang out to the side a little bit if that feels good. And beginning to really pour the back of the pelvis down into the earth as you draw the knee towards the armpit. It's a little bit of an engagement. Yeah, it's not quite so passive when we reach the pelvis into the earth. So just noticing that the hamstring might be turning on a little bit, and that's good. Take 2 breaths here together. Exhaling, letting that knee come closer to the armpit. Inhale, pressing the back of the pelvis down. And exhaling, knee to shoulder. You can slide the palms underneath the calf if they are against the hamstring if they're not already there. And then once again, flexing the left foot nice and strong so the toes really reaching for the shin bone. And then gently from here, pressing through the heel to begin extending that left leg long, noticing where the body is ready to pause. And really feeling that sensation in the back of the leg, maybe into the sole of the foot, even into the low spine, this beautiful sciatic nerve. Take about 3 breaths here, really flexing that foot, pressing through the heel, sinking the back of the pelvis into the earth. Let's take 2 more breaths. One more breath. And letting that go, releasing the foot and beginning to find those nice big circles with the ankle. I don't know, one teacher told me once it's like you're scraping the batter out of a cake bowl, which is funny when yogis use food terminology to describe movement. You can reverse the direction. But really seeing if you could imagine that your foot is a spatula and you're scraping the edges of the bowl, whatever your preferred cake flavor is. And gently letting that go. You can release the arms down, and then we'll find that shake once again. Yeah, it doesn't always feel so natural, but when we practice it, we can really begin to allow the ankle to completely release, the knee joint to completely release, and the bones kind of allow the muscles around them to just shift and relax, jostling the fluids of the legs, allowing for them to reset. Take one more big breath here and let it go, letting the movement go, just letting the leg hang out there for a moment, feeling that tingling sensation. And then dropping the left heel to the left glute, can bring the right palm to the outside of the left leg, and then just begin drawing it across your body nice and slow. So notice if you can keep the pelvis super heavy, you can begin to get into that inner hip crease and then into the outer left hip. Pausing anywhere that feels like it needs a little bit more breath, a little more attention. Nice and slow. And eventually, as you find yourself in the supine twist, seeing if we can really just arrive here and soften. So the left shoulder will likely come off the ground. You can let that left leg just be nice and heavy. And then noticing if you're pressing away from the earth, and see if you can soften. Letting the breath be nice and big here. Allowing the low spine to release, the front of the heart to open, the shoulders to soften. Take 2 more big breaths here. One more big breath, biggest breath of today. And letting that go. You'll find that funny face down tree pose. So extending the right arm out to the right, and then continuing that same trajectory. So the left knee is continuing to pull you over as you lay your chest atop this right arm. Find yourself with your forehead on the earth. The left arm can drape over the back of the body. No need to do anything in this posture other than release. Just for a few breaths. Seeing if you can really allow the space of the ribs to expand, even when they have a little compression from the front of the body. Releasing in the back of the neck, the shoulders, the hips. Let's take 2 breaths in here, inhaling, filling the back of the spine, back of the heart, and exhaling to soften the bones. One more big breath. And exhaling to let it go. Bring the left palm underneath the left shoulder. Just using that to lift your spine up a little bit to slide the right arm out and let right palm underneath the right shoulder. And then extending this left leg behind you. And bring the palms underneath the forehead once again, finding that nice rocking of the pelvis. Just allowing the spine to reset. And from here, you can just gently bring the palms underneath the shoulders just to lift the chest a little bit. And then we'll place the forearms on the ground to find a little bit of a sphinx moment. If you feel quite uneven with the mat and the ground, just move to one or the other. You might not notice it. And if you find this shape, we'll just take a moment to find some nice engagement. So pressing the forearms into the earth, and notice how that slides the shoulder blades down the back of the body, and then drawing the belly gently up towards the heart to protect the low spine. From here, just dropping the chin towards the chest. We'll find a few sort of neck opening postures. So just dropping the chin to the chest and then rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder and gently turning the chin towards the sky. You can reverse that, coming back towards the front and then dropping the chin towards the chest. Left ear comes to the left shoulder and then gently turning the chin towards the sky. So pulling the fascia, this beautiful connective tissue, and then returning to center. You can find this a few times. So really finding that sort of lateral movement first and then reaching the chin up. You can even pull the teeth together if you lift the bottom half of the jaw towards the top. And a little bit more extension, and then back to center, to the left, drawing the teeth up. Feels quite nice, especially for those of us who are on technology a little bit more than normal. And back to center. From here, go ahead and release the shoulders and just notice how that feels. You might adjust where your elbows are. I'm just seeing if you can kind of give into the weight of the heart and the head for a moment. The shoulder blades will draw together. And we'll find that engagement once again. So pressing into the forearms, noticing as the shoulder blades draw down the back of the body, unfurling the spine to find our nice, strong Sphinx pose. Just taking 2 or 3 more breaths, drawing the belly towards the heart, lifting the heart, finding a nice extension in the front of the body. And then from here, just tucking the toes behind you, bringing the palms underneath the shoulders, and we'll move our way back towards the feet once again. You can tuck the toes, and this time, rather than going into our toe opening pose, finding a place where you can keep the palms on the ground, just beginning to set the heels down and lift up the hips. We won't be here for too long, sort of a short down dog forward fold combination. And this is just a nice moment to really get both palms and both feet on the ground. So bending your knees as much as you need to. Finding the sense that works for you, seeing if you can really press into the palms, press into the feet, and then allow the heart and the head to soften, belly soft. Just taking 2 or 3 more breaths here. Allowing the head to hang below the heart, below the hips. Nice subtle inversion for us. Take 1 more big breath here. And as you exhale, bending the knees so much that the heels come off of the ground once again. Sort of act in reverse here, noticing as we pass through. We'll actually hang out here for 1 more little moment, just pressing into the palms to really open up the bottoms of the feet. Probably feels a little bit more comfortable this time. And then we can just shift on into the palms to lift up the feet and finding our Virasana Heroes pose once again. Find a little bit of a spinal release for ourselves. I'm big into low spine release because I think we could all use a little bit more. You can take one of your pillows and just tuck it into your hip creases here. So you'll be right against your belly. And then from here, you sort of want to lift yourself up and over the pillow to begin to reach your torso forward. And then you can just allow the palms to rest by the feet, palms face up, and then drop the chin down. Maybe the head comes to the earth, maybe it doesn't. And this pillow in between here gives our spine a little bit of space to begin to open up in a different way. We'll just stay here for about 5 or maybe 7 breaths, depending on your speed. And just noticing how you're experiencing this moment. Sometimes when we have a pillow or a blockage in front of us, we tend to hold our breath in a different way. Seeing if rather than feeling constricted in the breath, we can breathe into the space of the pillow, breathing into the body, which will allow the back of the body to open even more. Taking a handful of breaths more, really allowing the shoulder blades to melt away from one another. Let's take 3 breaths together, inhaling, exhaling, side out. Big breath in. Letting it go. 1 more big breath. And letting that go. Bring the palms back underneath the shoulders and just gently rolling up through the spine. Yeah, the low spine might be a little bit tender, so just noticing. You can remove the pillow from underneath you and just take a moment to plug the palms back into the earth and realign your spine. So you might sort of extend the spine a little bit long. Yeah, it's a lot of reflection of the low spine. You can walk the palms back out forward, finding a child pose without the prop. It feels quite different. And then reaching the palms even farther forward like we did before. We begin to reach into the palms to pass through a cat pose as we move forward and lay the hips down, laying the body down. From here, right arm will extend out and left fingertips will tent next to the body. Can bend that left knee, and this time the left foot will reach behind the body. Yeah, so you're lifting that left thigh off of the ground, and the left foot might come to the earth. Maybe it hangs out in the air. Maybe reach that left knee long, finding just a different variation. Yeah, and just noticing if there's anywhere as you enter this pose that you can find a little bit more ease. Yeah, if you're feeling a little tender in the spine, just being gentle. Yeah, you can always come out of it. You can always go into it. No need to put any pressure on yourself. Noticing the space of the right chest. You can even notice as you inhale, the body sort of unwinds a little bit. Yeah, you come out of the twist as you inhale. And as you exhale, the body softens. And maybe you twist a little deeper. and take about 3 more breaths here. Each exhale, an opportunity to soften a little bit more. Deep breath in. And letting that go. Let's take one more breath here. Letting it go. And gently unwinding yourself just a little bit. You can slide this right arm underneath the body and roll yourself back down nice and gently onto your back. So readjust your hips so that you're in line with yourself. Then bringing the knees out to the sides of the mat, finding that gentle rocking side to side once again. Perhaps there's a bit more mobility there. Perhaps the spine feels a little tender. It's all okay. Just noticing. And begin to draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice big squeeze, maybe finding a gentle rock side to side as well. And from here, we'll find sort of a happy baby pose. So just drawing the palms either to the outsides of the hamstrings, the calf muscles, the ankles, or the feet, wherever you choose to hold on to, just allowing it to be a little bit mobile. Yeah, we don't need to, once again, get too strict with our asana today. We're finding ways to restore and feel good. So finding a little bit of this rocking posture, happy baby. I love to remind myself and students and other yogis about this posture is to embody the innocence and contentment of an infant. Yeah, maybe drawing a little smile to the face and just allowing sensations to come and go, honoring the body in this practice. Gratitude for this body, this practice. And finding yourself in center as you're ready, letting go of any extra movement. And just for a moment, seeing if once again you can reach the back of the pelvis down to the earth, reaching the shoulder blades into the earth, finding this nice long spine, a little bit more sensation in the backs of the hamstrings. Quite nice. And from here, just drawing the soles of the feet together. And you can lace the fingers perhaps around the outsides of the feet and just allowing yourself to come into a reclined, sort of variation on reclined butterfly. Just shifting the hips side to side. Yeah, if this doesn't work for you, you can hold on to the ankles and have the feet a little bit farther apart. It's a nice release of the low spine once again. Letting any movement gently settle. Again, noticing how is my body experiencing this moment. From here, just releasing the feet down to the earth. You can bring the feet once again out to the outsides of the mat and allow the knees to fall together. We're going to find a few rounds of pranayama on our back today. We'll do our Nadi Shodhana, which is alternate nostril breathing. So usually we would do this sitting, but it's actually quite a nice practice to do laying down, especially when we're really entering a mood of restoration of the body. So you'll take the right peace fingers, the index and middle finger, and they'll go right about the third eye, or right between the eyebrows, a little bit higher than the eyebrows. The thumb will be available to cover the right nostril, and the ring finger will be available to cover the left. You can cover the right nostril and exhale all of your air out completely. You'll take a deep breath in through the left nostril, holding both nostrils at the top of the breath. And as you exhale, letting it out through the right. You can inhale through the right, pausing at the top of the breath. And exhaling through the left. Do that with a count of 4. We'll inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, holding. 3, 2, 1, exhale. 2, 3, 4, inhale right. 2, 3, 4, holding. 2, 3, 4, exhale left. 2, 3, 4. Continuing at your own count. Maybe you draw the breath a little bit longer. Maybe you stay with the count of 4. See if you can find this nice even breath structure. Beautiful cyclical breathing. Notice the back of the heart as it expands against the earth with the inhales and softens with the exhales. Allowing the breath to really travel through the body. Balancing both sides of the body, both hemispheres of the brain. We'll be in this practice for just about another minute or so together. Finishing up your last round, you'll exhale through the left nostril to complete that round. And you can let the right palm and the left palm rest on the belly for a few moments. Just noticing the shift that this breath has invited into your energetic body and your physical body. Noticing if there are any other places in the body that still need attention. And just sending your mind to those places for a moment. Yogi Charu, one of our dear teachers, says, where the mind goes, the energy flows. And in these moments, we can just let our mind enter these spaces in the body to give them a little bit more love, a little bit more softness. And from here, do our best to stay nice and internal and soft as we set up for our final posture of today. So you can rock the body over to one side, moving nice and slow. You can use the palms to gently press the body off of the earth and stay close to the earth as you're able, sort of bringing yourself closer to a wall. If you have access to a wall in there. And what we'll do is we'll set up for a legs up the wall pose. So you'll take your strap or your belt, and you can go ahead and wrap it around your legs. And you can either tie it or use the buckle, whatever works for you. And you want it to be in between the knees and the hips. You just want to avoid it being on the knees. And it can be as tight as you want. It doesn't have to be, anything too wild. And then you can take one pillow and put it in front of the wall here. So I just have a pillow and the wall, and my legs are secured here. And we'll move into this by, you come and sit next to the wall. a very glamorous way of getting into this. I'm sure you've done this with Petya. And laying yourself down next to your pillow, you can begin to roll yourself then over the pillow, and then using the feet on the wall, you can begin to shift yourself a little bit over. The hips can have some separation from the wall. You don't need to be right up against it. And then just extending the knees, resting the heels on the ground, just seeing if this is a place that you can be. Sometimes it's a little bit nice to bring the hips a little farther away from the wall. What we're going for is a very, very passive posture. Yeah, so this beautiful strap, what it allows us to do, or the belt, it allows us to release all of the muscles in the legs. And in doing so, you release the outer hips, and you can simply rest in a shavasana-like state. And so seeing if, oftentimes when we first get into this, we still like to hold. Seeing if you can give the weight of your legs into the strap, allow the heels to really just rest on the wall, and this nice support underneath our hips lifts our hips just a little bit above the heart. So this really nice supported inversion. You're welcome to extend the arms away from the body. Maybe if you want a little bit more grounding, just bending the elbows and placing the palms on the ribs or the belly for a little bit of contact with yourself. And then perhaps just lifting up the back of the head for a moment to tuck the chin gently and then release the head back down. Releasing that engagement just to elongate the back of the spine. You find yourself in this shape like we did at the beginning of our practice, beginning to allow the mind to enter this space. Noticing the quality of the mind. How has it shifted throughout our time together? Noticing the quality of the breath. And the soft, supple nature of the body. And bring the mind to the toes. Noticing the bottoms of the feet, where the heels rest on the earth, or on the wall rather. Nice and secure. The space all around the legs. Beautiful air supporting us. The tension of the strap or belt holding the legs so that we do not have to do anything. The heaviness of the pelvis. Even feel the weight of the legs, the bones as they pour into the base of the pelvis. The softness of the belly, softness of the ribs as they expand and condense around the space of the heart. My beautiful teacher speaks on the relationship between the lungs and the heart. Each inhale is a beautiful compression of the heart space with the lungs, and each exhale is a soft embrace, a softening breath and heart. So beautiful. Feel the backs of the shoulder blades, the bones of the arms, nice and heavy. Softness in the throat space, the back of the head, the crown of the head, the forehead, eyebrows, the eyes. Rest a little heavier in their socket. And the space between the ears where the skull and the spine meet. Softened, expansive. Just allowing the body to be here as we witness. No need to do, just be. and to stay in this shape as long as you'd like. You're ready to get this shape, following my voice. You can begin to deepen your breath, bringing the mind back from wherever it may have taken you. And just start to bring some gentle movement into the toes where they are. The fingertips can brush against one another. And then the ankles and wrists maybe find some movement as well. And we press into the heels gently against the wall. You can just place one sole of the foot and then the other against the wall. Just walking the feet back down the wall to bend the knees. You can take a moment here with the knees nice and soft. And keeping the focus soft as well. Just reaching for the clasp of your belt or strap and slowly undoing that just so that your legs have some room. Can you either slip that off or let it fall to the ground? And just letting the body make its way over to one side, nice and slow. You can pause here for a moment, scanning the body, briefly letting the body be soft once again. As you feel ready, gently pressing the palms into the earth, making your way to a closing seat. The eyes can stay soft or closed. And just gently bringing a little bit of rubbing between the palms, soft friction, just to feel the sensations of palm against palm. You can let that slowly dissolve as the palms meet at the heart center. Just taking this moment to honor this beautiful practice of giving back to our bodies, to choose to give back, to choose to restore is an incredibly powerful offering. It allows us to become more deeply situated in our own selves, honoring the sensations that pass through us. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And let it out through the mouth. Bowing the chin to the chest. Gratitude for this beautiful practice. Namaste.